So it's a Friday morning. V and I have been on the road all morning. We've got to go to a little town north of Bangkok. I'll tell you why. We just stopped here to get a little nosh. I got something I know you guys, some of you guys really love. I'll show you. I've not had one in a couple years. But I went into 7-Eleven to get some and...
Flexible.
V went and foraged for food along the parking lot. Hey folks, and welcome to my longest day in a long while here. We're on a bit of a quest today. We're on a quest for V to get a new passport. And it's a long winding process, and we've got to go up to rural Thailand, back to the big city, back to Pattaya. Anyway, we'll stop along the way. We'll see some cool places and some interesting people, but let's jump into it. Thailand has a national ID system where all Thai nationals can have an ID card. Hers, I guess the proper birth certificate wasn't presented when she got her Thai ID. It doesn't have a date of birth. It just has a month and a year. It doesn't have a date, a day. And that's required. You have to have a very precise birth date for things like passport, international travel, etc. First, she had to hunt down a birth certificate. That was a big pain. That was the first issue. Her brother took care of that for her. With that in hand, we're going up to a small town where she's originally from, and somebody that works in the district up there at the office is going to help her get a proper ID card today. Hopefully, with that, she can waltz into the passport office in Pattaya and get a passport. So it's a whole process. Birth certificate, ID card, passport. We're about halfway through the process as I enjoy my toasty here. But anyway, that's what it's going to be. We get up there, I don't know, while she's doing that, we'll look around, we'll see what there is to see, and we'll try to have some fun. So after exactly 2.5 hours on the road, one cheeky stop for some 7-Eleven toasty goodness notwithstanding, we made it up here to a place called Bang Pa In. We took 7 into Bangkok, the motorway 7. We transferred onto the motorway 9, took that all the way to the end, and then we're just a couple kilometers from there in Bang Pa In. And this is the district that V lives in and where her house is, etc. And I think she tried to get an ID card in Pattaya, but I think since there's additions or amendments to it, it has to be done here. Suffice it to say, she's in here. This is the district building. Thailand, most of the districts will have what they call an ampur. This is the ampur for here. An ampur is like a city hall, your courthouse, the place you go to get official stuff done. Put it that way. And they always got a lot of flags and stuff like that around it. So we'll let her go in there and get done what she needs to get done. She's already gone in the wrong building. It's like a whole complex here. But I've never been here. There's a little town here. And I think a perfect opportunity to do some explorification while she's in there, because I've got nothing else to do. So we'll look around, we'll see what we find. Let's go. So this area is like 10 minutes from V's house, winding through the woods, or even you can take the highway. It's a little bit farther, but then only about 1 kilometer off the highway. But suffice it to say, if we lived in V's house, this would probably be the town we would come to do shopping and get things done, and maybe going to the bank, etc., etc. Just enough here for that kind of stuff. But in 5 minutes walking around, literally, I found convenience stores, gold shops, restaurants, street stands, an entire market with a food court. You name it, I found it. All kind of shops, everything you need. Lots of household goods shops, 20 baht, 25 baht. They're very common here. I probably tripped over 5 of them in 5 minutes. Finally, though, this lady, she's over there. She signaled me over. She's very proud of her gaprao moo here, which is a very common lunch dish here. And the toasties, those toasties don't stay with you long, I gotta tell you, especially walking around here. But
But I found everything, all sorts, gold shops, massage parlors, banks, ATMs, just everything you need without even looking. Motorcycle repair shops. So very typical of a small town like this, just everything that you need right there in the town, in the center of town or town square. Seems to be a disturbance over here with an ambulance. I have no idea how long V's going to be. So she's supposed to call me when she's done. She could be 2 or 3 hours, or she could be 20 minutes. I don't know. I lean toward the latter. I finished up at the little food stand. I walked all the way back down. They have a thing you can cross the road, one of these little stairs in a tunnel, and I get back and I get a coffee. I see these coffees, 20 baht for this coffee. Some kind of brown sugar coffee, looks interesting. But I no sooner got my coffee and V reemerged on the back of a motorbike taxi. She struck out at the office. She's not going to be able to get the ID card today. She's got to go to Utai. She's got to go to the actual place she was born. It's a whole thing. It's not just foreigners that have a tough time getting like official documents and things like that done. For example, we talked about a visa agent to do help with that kind of thing. I wish there was a Thai ID card agent that could do this for me. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen now. She's going to have to continue to follow up, but every day ticks by, and we'll see where we're going to go. She's enjoying some vegetables here, and I think her mother's only living with her brother, which is only 10 minutes from here. Maybe we'll go by there. So not the day we hoped for. So about 15 minutes from where we just were in that little town is this rural village, and that's where her mother's staying now with V's brother. Apparently where she was staying in the village before was with her V's sister. So I guess she moves around from house to house. But this is a very, very rural village, a one-street village. Now, we didn't know how to get out here. V was unsure to get out here. And I said, well, just send a motorbike taxi from that village out here, and he can escort us. It turns out she knew a guy. She's known a guy for 15 years. He's not just any motorbike taxi. He used to deliver orders of som tam and pat kaprao mu and stuff from her restaurant to customers. So she's known this guy for 15 years, and he let us out here. But you know, we got out here to this street, and it's just one street off of a windy road. And we were probably within 100 meters of where we needed to go to this house, and they spent 10 minutes on the phone ascertaining which house it was. I don't know. They were pointing all different directions, and V's on the phone, and wow, never ceases to amaze me. That's why I opted not for the directions to begin with. I said, just send somebody that knows the area out here to guide us. And of course, fair play to him. He got us to the right street. He got us within 100 meters, and then we just had to find the house, which took another 10 minutes. But anyway, this is it. The house looks quite nice. She has a little sofa set up, a TV. She looks very comfortable in there. I'll show you the view out of the kitchen. That could be a typical country view here. But, wow, very rural. Papaya trees, banana trees, big tall reeds. Looks like some swamp out along here. And just very simple housing. Very basic living. I feel like this road is raised and all of this on the side is like some kind of swamp. These great big reeds. God knows what's living in there. I walked through a typical small town Thailand today, and we looked at that. And I guess this would be typical Thai village. A walk through a typical Thai village. So there you go. Anyway, we'll look around. Plenty of bananas growing. Outside of this whole area is peppered with industry, small factories, plants, things like that. So I would say it's kind of rural, industrial, this area. There's a big crossroads that lead into Bangkok, the highway we came up, and then the other main highway heading all the way north, all the way up to Chiang Mai, which is 32. So this is a big junction, a big crossroads for commercial traffic, and I think maybe some cheap land, and maybe that's why some of these plants have sprung up. But other than that, you just have these little villages out here. And these houses, 10 minutes from here, not even 5 minutes from here. All kind of places out here to explore. And a little pond. Well, that's part of the swamp, I think. The marsh. All right. So I walked the whole length of the little neighborhood here. A couple ladies stopped me and basically in their politest Thai asked me what in the blue blazes I was doing out here, because I was by myself. I explained the situation. They understood. They have a little store right here, almost like the little village 7-Eleven. But I met a guy, some of you will remember, about a year ago, best I can estimate, I did a video, very quick video. There was a plant for sale in Pattaya at the plant and flower market for like 5 million baht. There was a million, a 3 million, a 5 million. This guy's actually growing them. He makes his living doing that. And he's got all these potted plants, and the best ones, it depends how the color comes out in them. Just because you grow one doesn't mean it's going to be a rare color combination. But the more you grow, the more chance you have of kind of hitting the jackpot and getting the one that's very valuable. I wouldn't know the difference between the one that's valuable and not, but they do. And they're busy growing them. They have the most promising ones in like a little greenhouse, makeshift greenhouse. But that's what they're trying to do. Even some of them, they don't hit the jackpot, but they get like a small win. One plant may be worth 2,000 or 3,000 baht. So it's actually a pretty good way to make a living, I guess. You never know what you'll find. Just walk around. Look at this place. A lot of the houses are on the stilts here because, like I said, it's marsh. It's all marsh and swamp, and it might even be tidal. I don't know. Anyway, V's in there still telling her mother her tale of woe about the ID card and it's a whole thing. So the saga continues on that. We're not going to be able to get anywhere else on that today. So we'll see where that ends up.
Seems like every time we visit V's mom, she wants to put these little pieces of string, these little lengths of string on us, and I guess that's her thing. I don't know. It's supposed to be good luck or something like that. Hey, we need it. We need it with this situation. But anyway, like I said, my longest day ever. So we did the whole ID card failure. We went to visit V's mother. We drove underneath this digger here while they're doing some road repairs. On the way to visit her brother. So her brother's on a construction site somewhere. He's got a little temporary quarters out there, and another little village where V told all those ladies about her tale of woe as well. And then we would finally leave here around 3 o'clock and head down to Bangkok. You've already seen that episode, though. It was the last one. We ended up at the Hooters at Nana Plaza, the beauty pageant. I showed you that. There'll be a link to it at the end if you missed it. So we had all that to do. And then finally the long drive back to Pattaya. I think we got home around midnight. We left about 8 in the morning, got home around midnight. So hopefully some shorter days in the future. But for this one, gotta leave it off right here.
And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.